Okay.
Welcome back to Movie Flix. Today we are going to recap a 2007 drama true crime movie titled Savage Grace. This is an examination of a famous scandal from 1970s explorers, the relationship between Barbara and her only son, Anthony. Barbara, a lonely social climber, unhappily married to a wealthy man. Anthony, who is homosexual, as Barbara tries to cure Anthony of his sexuality, sometimes by seducing him herself. The groundwork is laid for a murderous tragedy. The story takes interesting turns along the way. But before we begin, please consider subscribing to our channel. Now, without wasting any further time, let's begin, shall we? The movie begins with the introduction of a woman named Barbara. Barbara is the wife of Brooks, a businessman. They also have a son named Anthony. Brooks isn't a big fan of Anthony. Barbara, on the other hand, adores Anthony. Barbara is unable to devote much time due to her work. Then, one day, both of them abandon Anthony at home. Barbara is very beautiful when she is with her babysitter and is going to a party. That's why everyone in the party begins to notice him. Brooks is on the bed way as a result of this. Barbara approaches a woman named Simeone at a dinner time and asks her a question if she can get a human meat for $10 million. Simeone, on the other hand, refuses to do so. Barbara then asks Brooks whether she's allowed to be intimate with him. Brooks refuses to sign a $10 million contract with Simeone. Then Barbara inquires about Brooks that if someone could give him a lift as soon as possible when he accompany him as he walks out of the door. Brooks was now enraged and he responds to Barbara's questions. Yes, he will definitely go, and Barbara will leave the hotel after this when the party is over, and then she drives somewhere with an unknown man in his car. And Brooks is irritated by Barbara's behavior. When Brooks arrives home, he discovers that Barbara has not yet arrived, and Barbara then returns home at night. A few years passed, and now Brooks used to spend more time outside when Anthony was younger. On the other hand, there are situations when Anthony had a long conversation with Barbara and she adored spending time with her mother. Brooks arrives at the house a few days later with a few French guests, and following the launch, Barbara introduces Anthony to everyone. Then Barbara makes Anthony read French book in front of everyone. However, Anthony was unable to read because of this. He didn't speak French. When Barbara returns, the man praises her body in French. Barbara, on the other hand, knew French and abused the man. As a result of this, the men begin to leave the house. Brooks also leaves the house with them enraged. Brooks is followed by Barbara to the hotel, enters the room and attempts to seduce him. Brooks tries to stop at first, but they both become intimate. Barbara returns home with Brooks the following day, and he notices another boy sleeping in Anthony's room, and Anthony is in bathroom taking a shower. Brooks is irritated and he scolds Anthony. Barbara, on the other hand, remains silent. After that, a few years passed and Anthony was now a full-fledged adult. Anthony is seen with one of his friends, Jack, and they were both staring at the girl's hair. Brooks and Barbara were also in attendance. Brooks also conceals Anthony that he should not put too much fetish in the girls. His gaze is always drawn to money. The following day, Anthony meets Blanca, a Spanish girl, and begins flirting with her. Blanca turns on the music and all three begins dancing. Now we have learned here, Anthony is a fact bisexual and he has a feeling for both a boy and a girl. Anthony tells Blanca's parents about her and Barbara is overjoyed to learn this. Barbara also invites Blanca to accompany her on her long drive. The four of them then go to a bar, alternatively tell Brooks Blanca stories about her grandfather. Blanca is also paying close attention to Brooks. These people spend the night in a hotel and Anthony and Blanca share the bedroom and they are both in love with one another. But Anthony isn't having much fun with this. And we see Barbara at the airport a few days later, and as there were inquiry for a flight, she notices Brooks together with Anthony's girlfriend Blanca. Actually, Blanca and Brooks' affair had begun, and they were both on the run at the same time. Barbara had long suspected Blanca and Brooks were having an affair. Today, though her suspicion has become into conviction, Barbara then goes in front of Brooks and abuses him. Finally, Brooks flees with Blanca. Barbara walks out of the room crying and becomes intimate. After getting intimate with an unknown taxi driver, Barbara visits her home and notices. Barbara becomes enraged when she learns that her own son Anthony is having an affair with her friend Jack, and informs her that her father has left for her. Barbara now hires a boy named Sam to satisfy her needs. Anthony tells Barbara that he does not despise her dad and that he wanted to reclaim him, is also writing him a letter. Barbara, on the other hand, had tricked Brooks out of her life. Sam speaks with Anthony and discovers the truth. Anthony is gay as well and has begun since. Then Sam begins to become intimate. Both Barbara and Anthony were present. When Barbara finds out about this, she scolds and tells Sam that he should refrain from doing so. As a result, Sam declares Anthony to be an adult and he has the ability to make his own life decisions. On the other hand, we see Anthony goes to see his friend Jack and has an intimate relationship with him, where we also learn that Anthony's mental condition is gradually deteriorating. And then Anthony visits his father's residence to hand over his letter to his father. Following a walk in front of the house, and he begins to hide the letter somewhere. Brooks notices him doing this but does not react. Blanca also notices Anthony attempting to bury the letter, and Blanca shows up in Anthony's letter. Anthony wrote to Brooks in that letter. He and his mom needs her. Barbara is currently working on a painting, however, she begins to cry. Sam comes to her aid and looks after her. Then they become intimate. When Anthony returns home, he notices Barbara and Sam are sleeping on the same bed. Anthony then removes his clothes as well and he sleeps with them. Barbara begins to laugh the next morning, seeing Anthony is like sleeping like a ghost. Sam also kisses Barbara and Anthony. Sam will have to leave after this, and Sam departs by bidding them both farewell. Barbara begins to act erotically now that she is alone. In addition, she attempts to suicide. However, Anthony transports Barbara to the hospital. Barbara's life is saved since she arrived at the right time. Then one day, Brooks' friend Simeone arrives and Anthony asks if she has met Brooks. Simeone explains this to him. Brooks should be forgotten because he does not love anyone and in his eyes everyone has died. Barbara then recovers after a few days. He also attends Anthony's dinner's party. Barbara is taking a bath in the bathroom one day. Then Barbara summons Anthony to the restroom with ice cream first, and then while eating ice cream, she informs Anthony that she will be going on a date with a man called Ethel. On the other hand, does not like hearing this. He then attends the funeral a few days later. Brooks, who was still with Blanca, is also seen there, but he does not speak to Anthony or Barbara, whoever Anthony has to say in the bad mood. Many days now pass in the manner. In London, Barbara becomes swift with Anthony and Anthony changes completely after going there. He also makes a gay friend there. Barbara, on the other hand, despises it. Then she begins seducing Anthony in order to obtain him. Once again, a fight ensues between Anthony and Barbara. In an anger with Anthony, she stabs Barbara. After which Barbara dies. Anthony calls both police and the ambulance. He makes noodles and starts eating them on Barbara's dead body. When the police come there and see Anthony in such condition, they understand that he has killed his mother due to Anthony's mental condition getting worse. After this, Anthony is arrested and we see Brooks the very next day, who was inviting people for the funeral of Barbara and was writing the letter for them. Now it has been 8 years of sentence for his crime that Anthony has received. And after being released, Anthony started living with Barbara's mother, Nini, but within a week he also tried to kill her. But Nini's life was saved, and then Anthony was again sentenced, and then after a year we find out that he has committed suicide. And this is where this movie ends. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, until next time.